Are you wanting to start a print-on-demand business in 2026? If so, this one's for you. There's a simple system that we created to get you on the quickest path to sales and profitability. In this episode, we'll be revealing our Freedom One framework and discussing how you can apply this on day one to get crystal clear on your business so you can make more sales and grow your brand. Also, at the end of this episode, we have a special challenge for you. And in the show notes, we've included a link to get your free copy of our Freedom One Framework Day One Checklist. If you're ready to map out your full business in 30 minutes, grab the checklist and let's go. This is no fluff, no BS, no gatekeeping. My name's Adrian Von Arx, here with my co-host Carlos Colon. Welcome to the Print On Demand podcast, a show dedicated to helping you make money online with Shopify and Print On Demand. Welcome to the Print On Demand podcast. Thank you so much for hanging out with us, guys. We love hanging out with you. Welcome to the show, Carlos. I am super excited about today's episode, so I don't want to waste any time. Are you cool if we just jump in?
Let's jump in.
All right, let's go. We have been wanting to share this for a long time. This is a framework that we created that we're going to be revealing today. We're going to be breaking it down, explaining it, and we're going to be ending off with a challenge for you. So this episode is going to be broken down into 3 parts. First is revealing the Freedom One framework. What the heck is it? Secondly, explaining how we would apply it to new business on day one, how the heck you can use it. And then third, a challenge for you because we want you to take action. That is the purpose of this podcast. Like, we want you to be your own hero and transform your life and take the action required to unlock more freedom. So let's go. Starting with part 1, I just am so excited to introduce this. And I want to share a little kind of backstory leading up to it. So when I started my first print-on-demand business, I felt like it was a never-ending game of red light, green light with all the decisions that I had to make as a new owner. And the problem is that it just leads to so much overthinking, second guessing everything. And for me personally, it actually resulted in very slow progress. I found out that there's actually a term for this. It's called analysis paralysis. And man, I was infected. I had this so bad. So analysis paralysis, it's where you think so much about something that you struggle to move forward or make a decision due to fear of making the wrong choice or not gathering enough information. And so what happens is you just keep thinking, overthinking things, consuming a bunch of time, and you're just hesitant about moving forward, right? So I'm sure a lot of people can relate with this, but I continue to push forward. But honestly, it was like trudging through mud with so much resistance every time I had to make another big decision. And quite frankly, it was exhausting. Like, you make this big decision after so much overthinking and you're like, I think I need to take like a 12-hour nap because it's so big. And the problem was this significantly slowed down my progress. And even though I was able to reach my first 6 figures in revenue within 8 months, I knew I could have hit that milestone much quicker if I had a system in place to simplify the decision-making process, especially at the beginning, because I feel like that's when it's the worst, right? I knew there was a better way, and that is when the Freedom One framework was born. So we created this for ourselves, and we created it for you guys. So the Freedom One framework, or F1 framework for short, is our simple guide to unlocking more freedom in your business and your life. This is a proprietary framework that we created for ourselves and our T-Shirt Legends Academy students to get them on the quickest path to sales and profitability by focusing on less but better. I want to emphasize that, focusing on less but better. Less decisions, less overthinking, less information gathering. So here are the 9 parts in the F1 framework. And I kind of want you to think of this as a checklist in a way. We'll explain more as we go through, but I just want to lay out all 9 parts for you so that you're like, okay, got it. And then we'll move on to the next part. All right, so here are the 9 parts. 1 is business, 2 is selling platform, 3 is niche, 4 is primary market, 5 is core product. 6 is POD company. 7 is core mockup. 8 is primary platform. And 9 is secondary platform. Now you're probably wondering, that's cool, Adrian, but what the heck does all that mean? Let me explain each of those, okay? So I shared the 9 steps, all right? Let me give you kind of like a 1 or 2 liner about each. So the first step was business. And this one, it's really simple. Like, start just one business. I know y'all have the entrepreneurial spirit like us, and I know there's a lot of options and there's a lot of bright, shiny objects, and there's a lot of opportunities for entrepreneurs like us. But guys, like, do yourself a favor. This helped me so much. Like, do yourself a favor and just commit to one for now. Like, commit to one business and commit to mastery of that business.
Yeah.
Other opportunities will likely present themselves down the road, and that's great. You know, if you've mastered this and you're like, all right, I've got some extra bandwidth, or I've got a team so I can do this. But think about it. There's people out there that are doing this full time. And most people who are doing this as a side hustle, they're doing it around a full-time job, being a parent, both. There's lots of, we all have limitations on our time. So I really want to emphasize, choose just one business. We teach people how to make money online with Shopify and print on demand. That has worked for us, and we're very passionate about it, and we love sharing information and content about it. But if this isn't for you, that's okay. If you're on the fence about this and another opportunity, like, pick one and commit to mastery, because trying to do 2 is going to be so much work. It's going to be so overwhelming. You're going to have to make probably twice as many decisions. And it isn't generally a recipe for success. So that's the first one. Business, just start one business. Step 2, selling platform. Select one selling platform to start. So remember, this is day 1, right? You might diversify out to other platforms over time, but our strong recommendation, if you want to be competitive and if you want to master a platform, like, commit to that platform. Right? Our favorite platform is Shopify. This is what we've always had the most success with. And we believe that that is the best platform to build a profitable and sustainable print-on-demand business. Now, if you want to choose a different platform, that's totally fine. Like, are you an Etsy seller? Cool. We love Etsy sellers. Like, come hang out with us. You can still learn a lot on this podcast, right? We're going to be teaching things from a lens of Shopify, but most of our information, most of the content can actually be applicable to Etsy as well. And we sell on both, but we did not always sell on both. Like, we started selling on Shopify, and we only use Etsy as a secondary sales platform, as a secondary marketing channel. But that was after we had made a ton of sales on Shopify and got lots of validation over there. So choose one selling platform. Step 3, niche. We love talking about niche. A lot of you love talking about niche. Guys, select one niche. That is our strong recommendation on day 1. Commit to a niche or a niche, whatever you want to call it. Carlos, any thoughts on that?
Yeah, there's 3 things that you should have. You should have passion, you should have some proficiency in it, and it should be profitable. If it doesn't have those 3 things, then go to the next one. Go to the next one. And you shouldn't have to choose passion over profits or profits over passion. You should be able to find something that you're somewhat passionate about and that you're somewhat proficient in and that's profitable. But the most important one is that it's profitable, because otherwise you don't have a business.
Right. Yeah. You have an expensive hobby. Yeah, no, I 100% agree. So our recommendation is to choose one niche and to commit to that niche. All your content, all your designs, everything you create is for the target audience around that niche. Fitness lovers, cool. All your content, all your designs are for fitness lovers. This is going to serve you very well in the long term, because not only are you going to be able to attract fitness lovers, but you're going to be able to retain them, turning them into repeat customers. And this makes a business much more profitable. So let's talk about step number 4, and that is to target one primary market. Now, what we mean by that is essentially one geographic location. So when we first started out, we started targeting the US, and we got lots of validation in the US, and we were really excited. We made a lot of sales, and we're like, hey, let's branch out to other countries. Let's go to Canada. Let's go to Australia. Let's go to the UK. Let's go to New Zealand, all these English-speaking countries, which sounded great in theory. And when we started running ads, we noticed that the cost to run ads was lower there. The only problem was that we ran into a number of issues because a lot of them were international orders and they were being fulfilled within the US or a country outside of the one that they were ordering from. And this actually led to quite a few headaches and to some unhappy customers and to some bad customer experiences. And we're not saying that you can't branch out internationally, but what we're saying is day one, when you're starting a new business, it will be simpler just to target one market. And our recommendation is to target the US market. It's the consumer shopping capital of the world. There's over 300 million people in the US. People are very comfortable purchasing online. Like, this has totally been normalized, online purchases. And people just love wearing products that express their passions and their interests. So this is just a few of many reasons why we recommend selling to the US market. If you're in a country-specific niche, let's say that it was like funny shirts for Germans and all of it was in the German language. Obviously, that makes more sense to target Germans with that, right? But for most niches, we would start or recommend starting in the US market and only branch out as like a future scaling initiative. But I mean, we actually branched out and then brought it all back to the US because we just didn't want to deal with the hassles. Simple wins in 2026. It won in 2025, won the year before that, it wins in 2026. Hey, I wanted to let you know that my free print-on-demand masterclass is now available on demand. On that training called How to Make Your First $10,000 with Shopify and Print on Demand, I reveal the exact strategy that I use to generate multiple millions in sales across 2 apparel brands and have helped many others implement as well. If you're totally new to POD, this will give you a clear path to sales and profitability. And if you're a veteran, this is meant to help you multiply your growth faster. Also, if you're looking for coaching, community, and accountability, there's an opportunity at the end of that class to join our training and coaching program called T-Shirt Legends Academy. So if you're looking for direct, personalized coaching from Carlos and I to expedite the growth process, you can learn more on that class and decide if TLA is a good fit for you. You can attend this totally free masterclass on demand by clicking the link in the show notes below or by going to ecomlegendsacademy.com/grow. And now back to the show. So that's number 4. Number 5 is decide on one core product. So this is something that a lot of people overthink, myself included. When you first start a business, you're like, what should I sell, first of all? And secondly, how many products should I offer? And our strong recommendation would be to actually just start with one core product and focus more on creating more designs. We would way rather that you created 100 unique designs on one t-shirt than to create 100 products with just one single design. Think about it. You're putting all your eggs in that one design basket and you spent so much time, so much of your precious time putting this on all these products. So if that one design is a flop, which it probably will be because I've never seen a brand win with their first design, you just spent probably hours upon hours putting a design that nobody wants on a whole bunch of products. We would way rather you choose one mass appeal product and create a bigger variety of designs because it's your design that's gonna take your business to another level. It's your design. We say you're always one design away from changing your life and changing your business, right? And so this is why we're so bullish on choosing one core product. It doesn't have to be t-shirts. If you want to go into wall art, if you want to go into hats, if you want to go into sweatshirts, and we do recommend actually scaling out from this eventually, but only once you have a winning design. A t-shirt is probably the single most mass appeal print-on-demand product. It's the number 1 best-selling print-on-demand product. And if you can't sell a design on a t-shirt, you might not be able to sell it on anything, right? If you can't make any sales, then it probably won't have a mass appeal on anything. And so this is why, we encourage you to choose one single core product and then focus on rolling out more designs as opposed to putting less designs on more products. I hope that all makes sense. Carlos, any thought?
Yeah, no, I like that. I think I want to focus it here. I want to focus it on what you said about mass appeal product, right? People always ask, what product should I choose to start with? The biggest thing here is, it doesn't matter what product it is, as long as it's a mass appeal product for your niche. And there's certain ones that are the most likely candidates for most niches anyways, which are t-shirts, hats, hoodies, maybe wall art, like products that are mass appeal across everything pretty much. And so usually those are safe bets. But if there's another product that's more mass appeal with your niche, then maybe you want to go with that.
Right. Yep. Let's keep it rolling here. Step number 6 is to select one POD company. So many people, oh man, I think I'm guilty of like every single one of these when I first started out. But so many people, they get really excited and they do their research and they decide that they want to start with like 2 or 3 print-on-demand companies. And while that's totally possible, and we have done it ourselves in the past, I wouldn't recommend it. The reason being is because you have to learn 2 different platforms. You have to learn 2 different upload processes. You have to connect 2 different apps to your Shopify store or a marketplace if you're selling on a marketplace. You have to speak to 2 different support teams if anything's going wrong. There's the chance that one company can receive an order that they shouldn't have. There's also shipping issues. So if someone orders one product from one company and another from the second POD company, it could lead to you paying higher shipping costs. There's just a number of variables that could go wrong that wouldn't go wrong if you're just using one.
Yeah.
And I have to keep reiterating that this is the beginning, right? Like in the future, if you're doing really well and then you realize that, maybe your target audience, your customers, they're requesting this product that you see over on a totally different product category that you see over on another print-on-demand company that is legit, then maybe it would be worth bringing on that second one and offering that unique product, right? But not at the beginning. The more decisions, the more headaches. And this is what we're trying to help everyone be focused so that you can avoid so many mistakes that we made that delayed our results, that delayed our success.
I want to add one thing to that too. Like, I think that because this is day one, we're talking about day one, like choosing a POD company. Now, I would add, if it were me, I would choose a POD company that's reputable and that's one of the major players, because you're beginning, you're just starting, right? You're going through the growing pains. You don't want to be going through the growing pains with that company. You want that company to have already gone through the growing pains and know how to advise you and consult with you to tell you what to do. You want them to be able to tell you what to do right off the bat when you call customer service, and you want them to have a full customer service, and you want them to have that level of support that they can support someone that is beginning and starting out, where you're gonna have a lot more questions than a veteran might have.
Right. Yeah, no, absolutely, 100%. And we're going to give our recommendations shortly. So we're going to go through this checklist or the framework. We're going to go through it again with exactly what we would do on day one if it were our business. And you can use that if you want. You're encouraged to. If you don't want to, that's cool too. Like, do your research, figure out what works for you, right? We want to explain this, and then we want to give you kind of our roadmap if it were us, and then just to kind of show you what that looks like. But let's jump on to step number 7, and that's use one core mockup. So one thing that we see happen a lot, man, again, a mistake we made, huge waste of time mistake we made, is we felt like we needed a whole bunch of original mock-ups for every single product. And we ended up obsessing over this and spending so many time creating mock-ups and using them for designs that nobody wanted. And it ended up being a huge waste of our time. And we see a lot of other people making the same mistake. And a lot of our students, some students have admitted that this is one of their most time-consuming tasks, and they haven't even created a winning design. Guys, first of all, the design is way important than the mock-up, all right? A good mock-up isn't going to sell a crappy design, but you could actually have a pretty mediocre mock-up. If you have a winning design, you can make a ton of sales. We know because we've had so many designs blow up that were on really, really mediocre mock-ups, especially a couple of years ago before we kind of leveled up on our mock-up game. But at the beginning, day one, our strong recommendation is to use one core mock-up. So I would probably go onto Etsy and buy this. We personally went over to Creative Market and bought one. So the Bella and Canvas t-shirt 3001, that's one of our best-selling products of all time. We went over to Creative Market and we bought a really nice, like premium looking mock-up of a Bella Canvas 3001, and it had all the different colors available. And so we were able to just buy that one package and we were able to just use that as our core mock-up for all of our products. So choose one core mock-up. I would make sure it's a nice one. Like don't cheap out. I probably wouldn't use any of the print-on-demand ones as my core mock-up. They're just, I don't know. I'm really hoping that they get better, but they're not very good. You don't see many ads with print-on-demand mock-ups for a reason. Even if you go on Etsy, like it's very rare that a bestseller is using a print-on-demand mock-up as their core image because they're just not that nice. There's better ones out there. And don't you want, like, even though the mock-up isn't generally what's going to sell the product, it's the design, still, like, it's a detail that does add to the design. It's an enhancer. And so what you want to do is you want to focus in on these details. You want to optimize those details. And this is one way of doing it, is just having one nice core mock-up. There's a number of places you can get them from. Place It, Etsy, Creative Market, Creative Fabrica. There's a lot of different places. If you can create a nice one with AI, using an AI platform, there's lots of different AI platforms you can use to create mock-ups. Just create one core mock-up. Our strong recommendation would be to create a flat lay mock-up.
Yes.
If you have a model for every single image and it's the exact same one, it makes the website look really weird. It just looks like a bunch of mannequins. And you're like, oh, clearly this isn't like a real product. All right, let's get into the final two steps here. We're jumping into marketing. I love talking about this. Step number 8 is choose one primary platform to acquire customers. So this is something that we're really, really big on. This has worked really, really well for us and our students, and we want it to work for you too. So focus on one primary platform to go out and to attract your target audience, all right, to get in front of, essentially, the channel that you're going to go to get eyeballs on your products. So we love and use social media for this for a number of reasons, and both free and paid, to get eyeballs. And that's how we acquire customers. That's how we raise awareness about our brand. That's how we get products in front of your target audience. And then step number 9 is to choose one secondary platform to retain customers. And we want you to commit to mastery of just those 2 platforms. So one primary platform to acquire customers, that means to get them for the first time, and one platform to get them coming back again and again, and commit to mastery of just those 2 platforms. Just having those 2 and getting really good at those 2 can lead you to have a very, very successful business. Here's the thing. Growth doesn't require complexity. It requires clarity. And spending weeks or months on end overthinking and over-researching things like we did, and then trying to sell on 4 different platforms, add each design to 10 different products, then create unique mock-ups for every single product, and try to be on every platform, every social media platform. These things will lead to so much overwhelm. There's a good chance they'll lead to burnout, and there's a good chance, unfortunately, that they'll lead to very poor results. Because here's the thing, if you have diluted focus, you get diluted results. So we really want to stress this point. Commit to the disciplined pursuit of less and cut out any non-essential decision-making.
Yep.
Our mantra at T-Shirt Legends Academy is simplify to amplify. And that is exactly what this framework is intended to help you do. The more decisions that you can limit, the quicker you can decide on each of those things, and the faster you can move forward and take action. And action brings clarity. The more you create, the clearer your direction will become. We learned this by taking action, right? So let's shift gears to part 2 of this episode, and we're just gonna quickly go over applying the Freedom 1 framework to a business. So here's an example of applying the F1 framework to a business in one day, all right? If it were us today, this is an example of exactly what we would do. We would sit down, we'd look at this list, and then we'd write next to it everything we were gonna do. So step 1, business. Funny shirts for female cat lovers. That would be the business. So we would create an apparel brand for female cat lovers, and we would just go all in on that brand. Second, selling platform, Shopify. We would choose Shopify. That is our preferred platform of choice for a number of reasons. It's always been the most effective for us, and we would 100% build another brand on Shopify. It's an owned platform, unlike marketplaces, meaning you don't risk losing everything at any given day, and you own your audience and your data. Brands are built on Shopify. So that's where we would go. We want to build a brand, a sellable asset that we could potentially sell in the future. Third, niche, female cat lover. So that would be step 3, female cat lovers. Step 4, for the primary market, we would choose the United States. Step 5, for the core product, we would start with t-shirts or hats, but only one. So we're just giving an example here. So let's say t-shirts. Step 6, POD company, we would go with Printify. That's because Printify has over 1,000 products to choose from. They have a number of incredible production partners, including Printful, who we love, and now they're built into Printify as a production partner. So there's a number of reasons why we would use Printify. Step 7, core mockup. We would get a flat lay mockup, likely from Etsy. So that would be step number 7. Step number 8, for our primary platform, we would use Instagram in 2026. And step number 9, for the secondary platform, hands down, we would use email marketing without any second thought. It's, in our opinion, the absolute best secondary platform, and it's such a great source of sales and profitable sales because it's way cheaper than running ads. All of these steps that we just shared with you, so that was just an example. All of these can be decided in one day. And that's what we encourage you to do. We don't want you spending weeks deciding on your niche, all right? We don't want you spending a month deciding on a print-on-demand company. We don't want you spending hours putting poor performing designs on a bunch of different products and a bunch of different mock-ups. Eliminate any unnecessary work. It's going to take discipline because there's always going to be bright, shiny objects. I promise you, there's always going to be bright, shiny objects that can detour your focus. But I strongly encourage you to put on the blinders, because one thing I've learned as an entrepreneur is that discipline equals freedom. And now for part 3, your challenge. We are ending off with a challenge because action is the foundational key to all success. So here's our challenge to you. Step 1, go to the show notes below and download our free Freedom 1 Framework Day 1 checklist. Step 2, by the end of today, go through each of these 9 steps in the framework and map out your Day 1 business plan. Save this episode and refer back to it if you need clarity on any of those 9 steps. With that, we are going to land the plane. Thank you so much for listening. Remember to start before you're ready, take imperfect action, and remember that you're always one design away.
Hey, if you're loving the Print on Demand podcast and want more, please help us out by rating this on Apple, Spotify, YouTube, or wherever you're listening from. It only takes a minute, and this is one of the best ways to support the show and let us know that you're enjoying these weekly episodes. Thank you in advance, and we'll talk soon.